pretend that it was for something noble. Racism, it wasn't so. It was really because she wanted fame and she wanted wealth. And I don't want to say that Prince Harry was an unwitting participant. I think he obviously is not as smart as her, but also
make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean? I listened to one episode. It was just scripted nonsense, feminist drivel. It was like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Having on various women that are super A-list talk about issues that nobody cares about. I'm not kidding, like her first episode.
Another day brings yet another publicity move from Meghan Markle. Honestly, does it ever come to an end? This time, Meghan seemed convinced she could change the storyline by stepping out barefaced, hoping people would finally view her as the authentic Meghan. But guess what? Candace Owens wasn't buying into it for a second. She didn't just throw a casual side glance at the attempt. She went all in, openly calling the entire act fake and putting Meghan on blast for everyone to see. What Meghan intended to look like a raw and genuine moment has instead been slammed by critics as one of her most tone-deaf stunts so far.
A very good actress, and so she figured out how to maneuver that by marrying a prince who, the only way to say it is, he's just not as intelligent as her. He has been subjected to her manipulation. And I do also want to say this because it's really important of why their story became so big, and her using the Black Lives Matter movement, which was very big at that time before people started to.
And then, boom, it happened. Candace Owens delivered a no-holds-barred verbal takedown that sent shockwaves through Hollywood's gossip circles. This wasn't just some quick clapback or a passing remark. It was a full-on verbal demolition. Owens came out swinging hard, and the person squarely in her crosshairs was none other than Meghan Markle, the Duchess herself, who Candace mockingly suggested should be renamed the Duchess of Woe Is Me. The insult was sharp, the shade was heavy, and the intensity made it clear this was only the opening act of a much larger takedown that was still to come.
Taking a break, I guess. Meghan Markle is back, and she has released a new Netflix trailer. Now, just to give you the background on this, if you're wondering why she's doing this, it's because...
In a second, but you'll like this, where you're going through, and that's when grades weren't A, B, C, D at that age.
Yeah.
It's right, like satisfactory, unsatisfactory, or I don't know what the best one would be, but it came to ability to throw and catch a...
Owens didn't even take a breath before firing off more criticism. She accused Meghan of turning authenticity into nothing more than performance art, saying every move felt staged and overproduced. Her words were sharp, almost brutal, painting Meghan as the modern symbol of inauthenticity in today's celebrity culture. What could have been a genuine chance for Meghan to show heart and vulnerability ended up looking like a carefully orchestrated PR spectacle. The whole setup was so polished and scripted that it lost any sense of raw emotion. Instead of real, unguarded tears, it came across like a scene rehearsed over and over for the cameras. Owens even mocked Meghan's nostalgic references to memory lane, pointing out how shallow they sounded. And she wasn't finished there. Candace went further, outright accusing Meghan of manipulation, pretending to appear fragile and broken, when in reality, people see a woman still wrapped in wealth and privilege, desperately seeking sympathy. Owens summed it up without hesitation. This isn't courage, it's manipulation cleverly disguised as vulnerability.
Her soul to the devil. Obviously, she's always wanted to be an A-list actress. She never wanted to be a princess. I called that from the very beginning. She wanted to be amongst the A-list because that was her. Alan couldn't carry her there, so she married a prince and then was invited into those circles. But of course, to afford the lifestyle of living in Montecito, to afford the lifestyle of what it means when Oprah Winfrey is your next door neighbor, you got...
The backlash was immediate and impossible to ignore. Meghan's big strategy to capture hearts through her podcast appearance ended up exploding right in her face. And at the forefront of that storm, None other than Candace Owens. She wasn't just handing out casual criticisms or light remarks. She went in with full force. Owens dismantled Meghan's podcast with Jamie Kern-Lima, tearing it down piece by piece until there was nothing left standing except shallow glitter and carefully staged fake tears. What Meghan hoped would be her winning moment turned into yet another example of her plans collapsing under the weight of public scrutiny.
Why she became the princess of BLM, because what's one of the biggest principles of Marxism? The breakdown of family. Black Lives Matter on their charter stated that they wanted to deconstruct the nuclear.
Anything is for us to love her and want to be like her, and she can't get it across the finish line. And all of this is exhibit A as to why. And by the way, Jamie sitting there petting her hair, that's a professional hairstylist who did that.
Candace didn't hold back. She even compared Meghan's podcast appearance to a middle school talent show, saying it felt like watching someone trying to force a tear on cue. That one cut deep. The audience gasped. Social media went into a frenzy, and that single, ruthless comparison set the stage for what quickly became one of the harshest public takedowns Meghan has ever endured. Candace doubled down, calling Meghan's presence so painfully inauthentic that it explained why she never rose beyond being a D-list actress on a basic cable show. According to her, Meghan simply didn't have the skill. And here's the twist. Meghan genuinely believed she was opening up, sharing her thoughts on fame, emotional struggles, and the heavy burden of her royal exit. She expected compassion and sympathy. But Candace, along with countless viewers, saw something completely different. To them, it wasn't raw honesty at all. It was a staged act. Every pause, every shaky breath, and every so-called tear felt meticulously rehearsed, perfectly placed for the cameras, rather than coming from. Everything about the podcast screamed stagecraft rather than sincerity. The lighting was overly soft, the camera angles almost too flawless, and even the host's reactions felt forced. Her nods and expressions looked more suited to a corny soap opera than a friend genuinely responding to heartbreak. Instead of a meaningful connection, the whole scene came across as a clumsy attempt to package pain and sell it, neatly wrapped in studio polish. The repetition of lines like, "We're in the pursuit of joy," only made it feel more scripted than heartfelt. Candace wasn't the only one who noticed this either. Social media quickly erupted, with users calling the setup suspiciously curated from start to finish. From Meghan's carefully chosen outfit to the overly polished camera shots, everything resembled a Hollywood production of struggle rather than the raw reality of it. What could have been a moment of genuine tears turned instead into a photo-ready cry session, more fit for a glossy magazine spread than an honest confession. Owens quickly zoomed in on Meghan's much-hyped no-makeup appearance. Meghan clearly believed that stepping out barefaced would send the message, "See, I'm just like everyone else." But the plan didn't land the way she expected. Instead of applause for being natural, Candace turned the moment into comedy fuel, roasting her relentlessly and pointing out how forced the whole act looked. What Meghan thought would make her relatable ended up making her look even more staged in the eyes of critics. Candace tore straight into the so-called natural look, calling it the fakest real look I've ever seen. Sure, Meghan might not have been wearing heavy foundation, but everything else screamed careful planning. The designer casual outfit, the perfectly styled hair, and the flawless glow created by studio lighting. That's not vulnerability, Owens argued. That's branding. Meghan may have wanted the world to see her as relatable and stripped back, but what she actually delivered was just another carefully packaged strategy to keep herself marketable. And Meghan wasn't the only one under fire. Podcast host Jamie Kern-Lima took heat too. Candace Owens didn't hold back, labeling her overly sweet, painfully rehearsed, and essentially just Meghan's hype woman. She wasn't acting as a real interviewer, more like a prop designed to frame Meghan as the ultimate victim. Owens even joked that Jamie's reactions were so scripted, they made Hallmark movies seem spontaneous by comparison. Instead of asking the tough, pressing questions the public really wanted answered, Jamie simply paved the way for Meghan's victim narrative. It wasn't a genuine podcast. It was a carefully orchestrated PR performance wrapped in motivational buzzwords. According to Candace, the entire episode functioned less as an interview and more as a therapy session disguised as self-help, with the real purpose being to polish Meghan's public image. For all the hype at its launch, archetypes quietly faded out in the end. Behind the scenes, insiders reportedly whispered about missed deadlines, creative confusion, and a total lack of clear direction. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't scandalous. It simply failed to resonate. Candace Owens summed it up bluntly. It wasn't a movement. It was a monologue. Next came the highly anticipated Netflix docuseries With Love, Meghan, promoted as Meghan's most stripped-down, vulnerable project yet, a supposed big reveal. But rather than uncovering any real authenticity, critics like Owens saw nothing more than a vanity parade. The cameras seemed to adore Meghan, lingering on every smile, every dramatic sigh, every meticulously chosen designer outfit. What was meant to feel personal and revealing instead resembled royal cosplay, a carefully staged showcase. Owens didn't mince words. This wasn't a genuine personal unveiling. It was a showroom, curated for effect rather than insight. Even worse, some insiders, like a well-known celebrity chef who was invited to appear, pulled out before filming, calling the whole thing fake before it even aired. When the very people you invite to validate your story walk away because they sense inauthenticity, it's more than missing the mark. It's a total loss of control over your narrative. For Candace Owens, With Love, Meghan wasn't just a one-off failure. It was clear evidence of a recurring pattern. Overpromise, underdeliver, and cover it all with a thick layer of PR polish. Owens' critique was cutting. Meghan's issue isn't ambition, it's obsession. Every project looks like a carefully orchestrated campaign rather than a heartfelt confession. Every tear, every pause, every perfectly lit close-up screams strategy over sincerity. And when everything appears filtered and staged, the story itself loses all emotional weight. As Owens bluntly stated, people aren't begging for perfection, they want authenticity. But Meghan keeps serving us polished illusions, and the world's patience is wearing thin. The end result? Disillusionment. Audiences no longer feel a connection. What once demanded the public's attention has now faded into mere background noise. The cracks in Meghan's carefully crafted persona became impossible to ignore when old footage resurfaced of her bragging about being able to cry on command. Suddenly, all those tearful moments that once appeared raw and heartfelt looked staged. Every quiver, every calculated pause, every teardrop streaming down her cheek seemed meticulously rehearsed. The whispers quickly escalated into full-blown headlines. Was Meghan genuinely hurting, or was this simply another tool in her PR playbook? Candace Owens, along with her army of critics, wasted no time endorsing the latter interpretation. Instead of quietly fading away, Meghan doubled down, desperately attempting to rebrand herself as a relatable every woman. But rather than winning sympathy, she earned a new label, Master Manipulator, continuously recalibrating, constantly reshaping her image, yet with each move, she appeared further removed from reality. What was once seen as empowering has now devolved into performance art, a staged display of struggle that the public has officially grown tired of. Her latest podcast appearance perfectly exemplified this. Meghan cast herself as a hardworking mom, juggling countless responsibilities, but let's be real, she's managing it all from a Montecito mansion surrounded by staff and luxuries. Relatable? Not even close. Real women are working 2 jobs, raising children without nannies and barely making ends meet. Meghan's version of struggle, attending PR meetings in designer jeans, left audiences everywhere rolling their eyes. Even her bare-faced, no-makeup look screamed carefully staged, with the perfect glow, soft lighting, and artfully tousled hair. It wasn't raw or honest. It was a production. Candace Owens hit the nail on the head. Meghan's brand isn't authenticity, it's marketing. And the backlash has now exploded across platforms like X, Reddit, and YouTube. People aren't calling her misunderstood anymore. They're calling her a pathological liar.